Hello, everyone.
Hey there.
Welcome to the first official virtual write-in of Camp July 2017.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We're very excited.
Yeah.
So let's introduce ourselves first, Maddie.
Okay.
Who are you?
I am Maddie. I'm an intern at Nano.
I am Emily. I'm also an intern, new here this summer.
I've been here for a while.
She has. She's a real pro at these. You might have seen her before. So how's writing going for you, Maddie?
Writing is going. I started a new fanfic, really, before July started. And then, of course, like July 1st, I was like, I don't want to write this anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll see what I write today. What about you?
It's okay. I set a goal of 50,000 words for the month for myself, and so far I've been like 2,000 words behind since day 2, but a steady 2,000 words. Like, it's not getting worse so far. So, how about all of you? How's it going? We want to hear about your projects.
Yeah. We're already on day 5, so
day 5, yeah.
Building up momentum. Really, have you already changed your story like me? Looks like Emma Kusmal is also 2,000 words behind Emily, so you're not alone.
Oh, thanks, Emma.
Oh yeah, and if you do stay behind, I want to plug this. You can change your goal for camp until the end of camp. Like literally on like the 30th or the 31st, excuse me, of this month. You can be like, I would actually rather do this goal. And then you can win if you feel like you're not going to. Yay.
Very flexible here. All right. So today, sort of the theme of our virtual write-in is going to be beginnings, with a focus on character development, because I think that's something really fun to explore early on. So we should have some fun sprumps, as Maddie likes to call them, sprint prompts, for you. And yeah, do we want to jump right into something?
Yeah.
Now that we have a bunch of you on the stream.
Look at, oh my god, there's so many people here. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm reading 172, and that's awesome. That's so many people for a July.
Got 3 more. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so my plan was to just start with a 5-minute free open prompt.
Yeah.
That sounds good, everyone?
You can write about anything. There's no word or no sentence you have to write on. You write whatever you want, as long as you are writing for 5 minutes once I get to my alarm, which is not that button. Oh gosh. There we go. Okay, so it's a 5-minute free write. Write whatever you want. Add some words. Add some time. You do you. Okay?
Let's go. 5.
Go. 1 minute warning. Okay, that's time. Wrap up the sentences. Get some notes down if you have some lines you want to write still. While everyone's wrapping up, if you haven't joined us before, these virtual write-ins are just a place that we can all come together and get some inspiration from each other. We'll be here for about an hour, giving you prompts and sprint prompts, along with discussion that we have planned for you today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already see those words coming in.
Words coming in. Anyone want to share some last lines of what they wrote today?
Let's see if I have a line. I didn't write too much. But I'm glad I even decided on something, honestly. I thought I was just going to read.
I probably got about 50 words.
That's solid. That is solid.
A sentence or to myself. Wow, they're all coming in.
That Aaron Brooke got 200 exactly. I love when that happens.
Me too.
It feels so nice. Like you cut a square or something. Waterhouse's last line was soap. It's a good line.
Soap. Wait, what is it? Hey, it's, I don't know how to say it, Nekh. Buying food to feed a sea serpent without anyone wondering about it is both easier and harder than expected. I'm intrigued.
I love that. I love that. I would read that story if that was the first line.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, yep, I'm going to read the rest of this.
Bravo, everyone.
Yeah. Hilberg Maria got 221. Barbara Krasner got 144 words of pure research nonfiction. Nice. All right, look at that. Great job. Okay. So we have 2 discussions and I think 2 more prompts today. So we're going to start on our first discussion, which is, oh, I lost it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Favorite things about beginnings. So, Emily, what's your favorite thing about beginning a story? Or beginning, like, reading or writing, I guess?
Well, my favorite thing about beginning, like, the action of writing, is figuring out the world I'm in and the relationships between the characters. And I suppose that's one of my favorite things to read, too. It's just very full of excitement, full of seeing, you know, oh, is this going to come up later? Asking a lot of questions. I always find that exciting.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like my characters a lot, so I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this whole theme today.
Yes.
Yeah, I love my main characters because I want them to be, like, really different. Of course, they always somehow end up being a lot like me, but, you know, it's something I'm working on. Yeah, but definitely characters. I have a hard time developing the world. So that's why I usually start with fan fiction because the world is there. A lot of the characters are already there. I can just add a couple of things in. Plot's mine. Everything else is already just, like, laid out for me. It's like a coloring book.
It's It's a good simile there, Maddie. I like that a lot. I also, something I really like about starting a nano project is that I feel I have a huge amount of momentum.
Yes.
At the beginning. Like, you know that there are ideas out there and you're really excited about sort of getting more precision into them, and you're like, oh, I can tackle all of these words.
I could do it.
Yeah. So that's something I like a lot about jumping into this first week of nano.
Yeah. I really feel that more during November for me, because like I have a lot of friends who do like the November nano. So like on Halloween, we'll all go to like party together or something, or like I went trick-or-treating last year. So after that, we like all came back at like 11:55. We all had our laptops
started at
out.
midnight?
Oh yeah, we started at midnight.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was
Did any of you in the chat start right
after
at
in your Halloween costumes?
I've never done that.
That's so fun.
Wow. I need to find some more friends who will get into that kind of thing with me.
I have a lot of people like fanfic. You see, fanfic is just it makes it so easy, right?
I'm not that big into fanfiction. I don't understand the whole world of it as much as I should.
Are you a perfectionist writer?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends who like that's why they don't like fanfiction, is they feel too much pressure to keep it in that world, which I totally understand. But yeah, that's a big thing about fanfiction. So if you want to write it, don't feel that pressure, but like also it's a lot of fun and it's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Your own novel. Just something I'm again trying to do. Oh gosh. Sorry, my computer freaked out. Okay. What about you guys? Dun, dun, dun. And we're talking about beginnings. Could say anything. No answer is wrong or incorrect. A Sertal says, my favorite thing about beginning a story is when I write a really good first sentence. I like it. Yeah. First sentences make you feel real good. I remember I have one story that I wrote the first sentence and the last sentence were on the same day. The story took me 3 years to finish. And I felt so good about it when I actually finished with like the same last sentence, because I feel like that doesn't happen that often.
I have a lot of like orphaned first sentences to things that don't actually exist, probably never will exist. They just sounded like really, really zippy or something.
Yeah.
So I wrote them down somewhere. Yeah.
I had that with titles too.
Yeah.
Which is like a whole doc of titles.
Aaron Brooke says, beginnings are terrifying. So much can go wrong. Well, we're going to talk about some of the mishaps writers might face in beginnings a little bit later on.
What scares you about beginnings? Like,
yeah,
what do you think can go wrong? Because we can maybe help you with that. Or not. Or we can just share in your fear too, because that's always nice to have.
Just some bonding over these feelings. It helps. It really does.
Trent says, should you begin in the middle where the action is already happening? If your writer self is like, gosh, like I have this great middle, but then I gotta write the beginning to get to it, yes, please start in the middle, because like that is saying something about what you want to read, what you want to write, and that excitement will reflect in your writing. And so yeah, I say yes.
Mm-hmm. There's also the idea of like the opening action of your book being as close as possible to like that really meaty, like sort of middle part.
Yeah.
Which really works for certain books. So you might want to try that out, see how it works with your plot. Yeah, it can be really fun. We have a lot of fanfic writers.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how much. Yeah, Dana Shkokani says, I feel like if I start in the middle, I'll never go back to the beginning. I'll finish the book and leave it. Well, maybe you didn't need that beginning to start with. Maybe that middle is your beginning. We're writingception. You guys can continue to add your tips for beginnings, what you like about them, keep them in the chat. If you really want to say it, you can say it a couple times. Oh, Lisa Rose asks, what are the portraits on the couch?
Yes.
Okay, well, this is Blobby. Oh my gosh. So this is a very dapper portrait of Blobby. He wanted to be really dressed up for Night of Rain Dangerously last year, which is the fundraising gala. Oh my god, I'm going to drop this. We have every year in San Francisco. So, you okay there? Yes, I didn't want to drop him. I have dropped Bobby multiple times off this couch. And I feel like dropping a frame is maybe a little more dangerous. But so this was for Catherine, who is our what is her foreshadow? Programs assistant, right? Director of program. Who is editing this right now? She's watching. Hi, Catherine. Hello. She wrote this beautiful painting that everyone loves, and I wish it was like more out there so we can see it all the time. But yes. I also really like having it in the virtual. It's
always featured on them. Yeah. And this is the poster from last year's.
Yeah.
Now, right? Yeah.
And I think you can still buy it, and it's also on the T-shirt and the mug. So plug in the store too, if you like it. I absolutely love it. Like there's like a little pen, a little astronaut's pocket, and then his little name tag says November, and then it's like a little binder paper, and I just like super geek out over this. It's just so cute.
It's very sleek.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Catherine says hi. Hi. Okay, should we move on to our prompt 2?
Prompt.
This one we will actually have. This is not a free. Well, I mean, you can free write it if you want, but we do have a prompt for you. Mm-hmm. It is plant a seed for something that will happen later in your story. So, like, you can do some foreshadowing in this. You can create your character's main goal, or maybe something they're worried about. Or maybe something that's going to be significant in the future will appear. So, like, something this reminds me of is the locket in Harry Potter, where, like, they just, like, randomly find this. It's literally 3 sentences in Order of the Phoenix, where they're going through the attic, and it's so just, like, simple. It's just, like, a simple detail. And then it just becomes this huge thing in 7. And just, like,
those horcruxes were really planted in there. They were good. So yeah, think of something like that if you want to and write about it. We're going to take this one for 10 minutes this time, right?
Yes. Okay. This one's 10 minutes. Yeah.
Get pumped, everyone.
Okay,
Happy writing.
Happy writing. And we're going to start 10 minutes now. And that's time. Wrap up those sentences. Look at your word count for those last 10 minutes. While you're all doing that and putting all that stuff in the comments and letting us know how much you got, how amazing you are. I found a question that happened like right at the beginning of that last prompt that I wanted to answer. So it's from Avari20, and it says, how early would you recommend revealing a character's goal? Like, do you do it all at once or unfold throughout? What do you think, Emily?
So, depends a little bit on the character, I think. For me, if it's your main character, if it's someone we're going to be spending a lot of time with as readers, I think understanding at least some of their motivations pretty much from page 1 is really helpful and really exciting to read. That being said, there is sort of, like an unfolding that happens with these things. Not everything is on your mind all at once, so it's not going to be on your character's mind either. So maybe you can save some more of like the deep, like personal turmoil sort of motivations for a few chapters in, I would say.
It's like getting to know a friend, like what they want to do that day, but like maybe you won't know for a while like what their deepest, darkest fear is. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we have, look at these word counts. Grace Taylor got 226. Jessica M got 242. Kayla Wells added a sentence of her story. She followed Principal Thule out through the cafeteria door, down the hallway to his office, and her dismal fate. Haley B got 306. Katie Sauer got 360.
Kayla Wells 665. That's a high one. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Someone's speeding through.
Jane Ridgewood got 858 in 10 minutes. Oh my gosh, my fingers would be sore. I love all of these. I'm just like getting wrapped up in all of your stories already.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's see if I wrote anything I want to read. I'm just like writing about a funeral, so it's not particularly happy.
Boy.
Yeah.
One of my characters just let out a breath they didn't know they were holding, and I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
But, sometimes
Stuff's about to go down.
Stuff's about to go down. That's one of those gestures that creeps into writing a lot. But
Yep.
that's what Nano's about, everyone. You find out which weird little writer tics you have.
I write so many about eyes, like where people are looking.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It's like, why do I write this so much?
They glance down.
Oh, all the time.
That one,
I feel really guilty when I write stuff like that. It's like, God, I don't know how to write this otherwise.
But that's why it's so great when you just shut down that part of yourself.
I know, it feels so rewarding.
And you only have to look at it later.
Yeah, that is true. That is what Nano is really good for. It's like, whatever, it's 5 more words that I have. I'm gonna keep going. And I never know if it's like the speed at which I'm writing it just makes me realize it more, or if I write it more during Nano.
That's a good. I don't know how you test that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I guess I would have to look at something that I never wrote for Nano and something that I definitely have, and then just type either find a word or a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
See if it pops up anymore. But I don't know. Ooh, sounds like an epic. Cell H writes, the sea beast is dragged off of the boat, and for a final moment I look into its eyes, searching for some sort of light that shows me it's still alive. The beast thrashes, but there is no light.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So we're a little over halfway through our stream today. Thanks to all of you for sticking with us.
Yeah. Hey, let's see how many people we have. It grew! We have 197. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even promo us on Instagram today. I totally forgot to do that. I literally just realized I should have done that right now. But I'll do that next week. It's cool. Do you want to intro our second discussion?
Yeah, let's get into it, everyone. So for our second discussion, we're going to get more into the biggest challenges writers face with beginnings. I know a lot of you have been bringing that up in the chat already, which is great. So we'll definitely get to those questions. But let's start, Maddie. What do you find to be the most challenging thing about beginnings?
I said this a little before, but I have a really hard time with like world building.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of my beginning is dialogue, which I've heard from my creative writing classes. People get really confused if you just start with dialogue. So it's like balancing that and making sure you can like still hear the world, but you're able to see it as well. What about you?
That's very true. I would say like balancing action that keeps people engaged and keeps people like understanding sort of concrete things and description, which kind of plays into the world building effect. Because I don't know, it's just something that's very hard to blend together a lot of times.
Yeah.
So part of that is often like finding the right place to open into your story. I think with Nano, it can be a little frustrating if you don't start in the right place, but that's sort of just like you can keep writing, you can write more scenes, and maybe someday one of them will be your beginning. Yeah.
So do you find that you like choose one or the other? Like, do you like just do description or just do action? And then you kind of get to that balance? Do you lean towards some of the other?
For a beginning, I lean towards action because I sort of feel like readers are going to have a lot of questions anyway.
Yeah.
So there's if they're really engaged in like what's happening to your characters right off the bat, they'll be a little more willing to stick around. But the project I'm working on right now, I actually started with a descriptive chapter. I thought it was going to be chapter 1, and it's chapter 2 now. So I moved some things around. Yeah, it was interesting. So that was exciting.
I think that the one story I'm writing right now is my Nano novel from last November. And it was a novel that I had like started, and then the last thing that I had like finished it with, I was like, no, this is my beginning. So my ending became my beginning.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
Wait, was there some like time jumping there? Or,
yeah,
like,
there was a little bit of time
or...
jumping because I had a story that I knew I wanted to end with this character's death. But I realized I didn't care about anything that like led up to it. So I started with the death, and like now I said I'm on the funeral. So I was like, yeah. So that kind of stuff can totally happen. You can totally be like, I'm planning this whole story and this is where it's going. But since I was most interested in the death, I was like, well, I know what it's gonna be about now.
Yeah, at least you figured that out. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So we're still talking about challenges with beginnings here. For any of you joining in now, I saw our viewers climb a little bit. So difficulties with beginnings.
Trent asks, how long is a beginning? The first page, first chapter, first paragraph? What do you think? It's not my answer.
Sometimes I would say first chapter for sure. Especially if you're handling like sort of a familiar, realistic setting where there's a lot of things that the readers come into like understanding, maybe like for sequels too or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, fan fiction, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
But in other cases, I would consider the beginning like the entire portion before something really major changes for your character, like sort of breaking that stasis.
Yeah, I was totally thinking that too. Like everything up to your inciting incident. So whenever your inciting incident happens, I think that's where your beginning ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a good question. I like that question.
Yeah.
Good.
Red Raven Reads says problems with beginnings, getting the perfect first line and being a perfectionist. Yeah, true for me many times. But the beginning is always going to be there for you. It's something you can, I add a lot of details to the beginning when I'm in the middle because I'm like, oh no, something needs to happen back there that I didn't know about. And the great thing about this is like, no one will ever know that you didn't have all those threads worked out if you weave them back in.
True.
So that's great.
As long as they're consistent.
As long as they're consistent, yeah.
I don't think I have one like first line that I'm like, I love this first line. I just like start.
I don't know what my first line is right now. I don't think it's gonna stay though. I probably shouldn't look back right now.
Looking back is so fun. Yeah, see, my first line is about looking. I've been trying to envision a lot of my beginnings as like a film because description is one of the really tough things I have. So if I can see it as like a film, I like know where it's going to start because you have that really vivid image in your mind, and it's going to be cool if it looks cool in your mind.
I think imagery is in general a pretty like strong way to begin something. Yeah. People just tend to be very visual creatures.
And it grounds you in a story that's like literally not visual at all. It's just a bunch of words on a page. So it's nice to have that contrast.
Other sensory details come into one of my favorite lines. Is the first line of Uglies by Scott.
I love that book. Oh my god.
What is it?
I have no idea. I've read it forever. But yes, it's a great series. If you have not read the Uglies trilogy and subsequent sequel to trilogy, he was forced to write that book. Uglies, Pretties, and Specials are the three. There's the trilogy.
Those pretty much like shaped my childhood.
So good.
The first line is the early summer sky was the color of cat vomit.
Oh my god.
And I will forever love that line. I think about all that. Just that whole opening chapter I think about all the time.
I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd if you haven't figured that out already, but the first line of Harry Potter will always be with me. It's the Mr. and Mrs. Dursley were practically perfect, or no, perfectly normal. Thank you very much. And that thank you very much, I felt, oh my god, it makes it, yes. Like I felt like in a lot of my writing, I attribute a lot of my writing to A, Harry Potter, and B, Seinfeld. So like if you can think of a weirder combination. But just kind of that like tongue-in-cheek sassiness is just like, there's a lot of voice in there and you know exactly what you're gonna get in that first chapter. But another one of my favorites is Fahrenheit 451. It was a pleasure to burn. I love that novel. It's a great novel. But that's another one where it's like, it's not just visual, it's very like physical and tangible as well. And you feel the heat and you're instantly just like, oh, like, what are you talking about? That's like not really a pleasurable thing usually. So, yeah.
We are jabbering a lot here.
We are. But it's exciting.
It's exciting.
So hopefully it's helping you.
One thing a lot of you have mentioned in the chat and something I wanted to get to is the concept of like info dumps or too much exposition. So first of all, I want to challenge the idea of an info dump right now for your nano projects. A lot of that's just figuring out as an author where you want your world to be, what you want for your characters to be thinking at that time. If you need that to be there right now, I don't see a problem with it really. Yeah. And just get it out there.
I would help you a lot. Like helps you with outlining. Whenever I outline during Nano, it's like it's a part of my story. It's like a part of my word count. It's part of my time count if you're doing that. But it's like helpful and you don't know when you're going to use that information. You don't know if you're ever going to use that information. But because you know it, it will inform you and your readers later on.
Mm-hmm. And the only other thing about that is if you feel every time you introduce a new concept or a new character that you have to get all this out there, and that sort of like drags down your like writer's flow or something, then you can kind of just liberate yourself. You don't have to know everything, and you can always come back. And you don't have to worry about confusing your readers at this point either.
Yeah.
Readers are pretty smart.
They are,
and
yeah.
By the time they see your work, I'm sure you'll, be really proud of it, make it all pretty for them. So, I promised a silly character activity. So Maddie and I are gonna do this.
Yes!
thing. So excited.
I'm ready.
So, what we are going to do, we have some paper here and markers. We are going to sketch some of our characters. I'm okay at drawing, but like we're gonna do this on a timer.
Oh my god.
So
this is so much pressure. Okay.
It's very limited. So feel free to join us in this task. Try to get down as many striking characteristics about whoever you choose from your project. Be they physical, personality traits, what else? Do they have like weird moles on their toes or something? Like, try that out. How long do you want to take to do this, Maddie?
Let's do 2 minutes because I feel like 1 minute is gonna go really fast.
You're right. Okay. 2 minutes, and then we will show you our masterpieces. And like I said, feel free to join along. I want to see some of these pictures from you. 2 minutes. Ready? Go. It's already going great.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Mine is so small. This is what always happens to me. I have this like huge space to draw and then it just like shrinks.
So,
oh my goodness. Okay. Let's get my...
Do you want to introduce your character, Maddie?
Yeah,
or should I
okay.
go first? Okay.
I can do it. Okay, so, oh gosh, it's so small that you really cannot
Get a little
see
closer.
my teeny stick figure human. Okay, this is my character. This is why I write and this is why I don't draw. Her name is Torre Cipriani. That's one of the first times I said her first whole name out loud. Wow, I've had this character for 4 years. That felt really weird to say. She is an Italian mafia boss whose basically parental figure / right-hand person just died. So she's on her way to a funeral. Her hair is not usually up like this. She's being very fancy today. So I probably should have colored her dress in black. She's got 2 rings on her fingers. Which is the left one? That one? Yeah. She's married. And then that's her mafia boss ring. So she's really cool.
Very nice. Sorry. I had to process that. Whoa.
Like a Super Bowl ring, but for mafia boss.
I love it. Okay. This is my character. Got Gabriel here in a very cheesy grin and some kind of toga, I guess. They are a shapeshifter in my world, so sometimes they look like this, but I tried to incorporate some sort of non-literal characteristics. Gabriel is not very strong, but very strong in the smarts department. So we've got them lifting up some big books here. And then also, what else? 3 piercings on the right ear. Very knobby knees in almost all of their forms, and ugly boots.
Is that in all their forms too?
You know, I haven't thought too much about that yet. Clothing and shape-shifting always present lots of obstacles.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
Aren't the werewolves in Twilight just like naked after they shift? I think that might happen in my novel. Anyway,
that's what I always wonder with like the Hulk. It's like,
yeah, where did all the torn clothes go? So I hope you enjoyed this little exercise and indulging us in our bad drawings. If you did this yourself, or if you're one of those people who has like much lovelier character sketches where they like plan these things out ahead of time, I would love to see them. So you can tweet them at us at our nano interns.
Nice segue.
We've been pretty active on there lately.
Emily has been pretty active on there.
I love seeing things from all of your projects and just hearing about how the nano experience is going with you. So,
right there.
Yes. At NaNoInterns on Twitter. Follow us.
Yay. You can also Instagram us too. We have that too.
Maddie
I
is
like
in charge of Instagram, and she's very artistic about it all. I like it.
Catherine does it more than I do, but I really like doing it.
So, should we do another prompt for the end here? Then we'll try to wrap up.
We can do a 5-minute one.
5-minute prompt? Yeah.
So this prompt will be off of the sketch. So take something that you learned from your sketch, or maybe something that you wanted to get to but didn't get to in those 2 minutes. Or so you can write about that, or you can take, if you didn't do anything, you can write about what your character fears the most. This will be 5 minutes. Get my timer ready. So this is kind of like multiple prongs, or you can do one of them. Take something you learned from your sketch. Write about a character fear. Maybe a combination of the two. 5 minutes and go. And that's time. Wrap up those last sentences. Send us any sentences you really liked, word counts, all that jazz. We are just about at the end of our first virtual writing for the month. Oh my goodness. These happen every Wednesday of the month except for at 1 p.m. Pacific time. You can Google where that is in your time zone, since I'm sure a lot of you are not on the West Coast of the United States. Yeah, and the only one that's not at that same time is the very last one, which I believe will be at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So we're doing things that day. So time conflict. Yeah, Red Raven reads, you got 363. You did it because you were magical and amazing. Mary Rose got 290. Ginger Roll got 90. Nora got 280. Joy Anna Riley got 185. A bat got 67. Woohoo! Remember, any word count you got is a good word count because you're writing and that's what matters.
Yeah, don't do any of this only so many words thing. You've got it. You are adding words towards your goal for this month, and that's really impressive, okay? So, should we wrap up, Maddie?
Yeah, I think we should.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We encourage you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bobby's always here supporting us during these VWIs. We encourage you to, jump back in next week when we will be here, same time.
Same time, same place.
You can also reach out to a lot of the NaNoWriMo communities. The forums are a great place to get inspiration. Also the NaNoWriMo Twitter, the Nano Interns Twitter. We're pretty much everywhere.
We're everywhere.
All the social media. So Instagram,
you follow
Facebook.
me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like whatever you want.
Those are some great places to find support. Also in your camp cabins, strike up the conversation about different people's projects, whatever you want to do there.
Yay! That was awesome. Good job, everyone. We will be signing off for the day. Us and our beautiful
sketches. Say bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
See you, everyone. Happy writing.